Joe Kennedy, kind of screwed them. We were supposed to have access to the White House after we helped deliver, when I say we, because I'm going in mob terms, the presidency to John F. Kennedy. But they totally screwed the mob. The mob was supposed to have access to the White House. Instead, we got screwed, and as a result, Kennedy was on the hit list. Hey everyone, welcome to another sit down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well, and we're getting towards the end of the week. And just to let some of you know, I had a little surgical procedure this week, so if I look a little bit, out of it, I'm just in recovery. But everything went well, the procedure went well, it was totally successful, so all is good, so here we go. Before we get started, I want to thank all of you once again. We have now gone over 400,000 subscribers in what we consider to be a very short period of time. It's just about a half a year. So I want to thank all of you for the loyalty and for your continuing to tune in on the videos. We try to do a good job, and I'm glad you appreciate it. So that's that. A couple other things, just some housekeeping things, I think. MichaelFranzese.com with our coaching site. We're building extensively. We've got now over 12,000 people in the free site and several hundred in the inner circle, those of you that have more access to me, but it's been a wonderful experience for everybody. So again, MichaelFranzese.com, tune in, see if it's for you. I think it will be. I think you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to get a lot out of it. What else, is happening? A couple other things. We have Mob Movie Monday coming up. We got a good one, Shawshank Redemption. I've been asked for that, so often. It's a prison story. It's a brilliant movie, obviously. I think you're going to enjoy my take on it. Obviously, I've been in prison. I kind of have an understanding of what went on in that man's life. So if you haven't seen it, go watch the movie. It's great. And what else? Again, when we hit 500,000 subscribers, remember what I promised you all. It's going to be a huge giveaway. Huge giveaway. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. And we're going to give away a lot of things. Again, just to show our appreciation for all of you signing in. A couple other things. This Monday coming up, I'm going to be interviewing Mike Tyson. Not an interview, a sit down. We're going to be sitting down at Slices in Newport Beach, and Mike's going to taste some of the pizza. We're going to go over some things. Two boys from Brooklyn, that have had a rough time and have kind of come out of it and straightened out our lives. And I like Mike. He's so genuine. Many of you have seen the interview that I did with him on his podcast, and I think we got over 5 million views. People have enjoyed it. And so we're going to do something special, and that'll be posted in the coming weeks, and I think you're going to enjoy that. Donnie Brasco on tap for that. We got a couple other things going on. I'm not going to tell you all, but as a result of that, we've rented a studio because now we're starting to set up all these interviews, and most of the YouTube sequences that you've seen have been shot at my house. So we've rented a studio now, and we're going to be having a lot of exciting things coming up. We try to give you the best possible content that we can. So that's it. What am I going to do today? Today is a little bit something different, I think. When you think about Cosa Nostra in this country, the Mafia, I think, sometimes you get a real bad image of that, we were criminals. As you know, I was part of that organization for quite some time. My dad before me was a pretty prominent figure in that life. And we've spoken a lot about that. I've told you a lot of stories, and you've heard a lot of things come from me. Sammy the Bull is out there telling some great stories. He's a great storyteller, and I think he's doing a good job. People are enjoying it. So then there's a few of us out there. But, I like to, kind of apply whatever I tell you to what's going on in life today. And I think some guys out there, I've made statements that not only apply to Cosa Nostra, but apply to our everyday lives. And I'm going to go over a few. I think I mentioned some of these in the past, but it struck me that the way things are going today in our society, that I think some of the things that have been said are pretty relevant. So I'm going to pick out a few guys, and I'm going to give you some quotes. We're going to talk about a little bit what he meant and how we apply that to what's going on today. First one. Paul Castellano, you know who he was, boss of the Gambino family, gunned down by John Gotti in 1986. You all know his background. We spoke about it. No need to go into that. Everybody knows who he is. But Paul made a statement, and I'm going to be reading it. He said, "This life of ours, this is a wonderful life. If you can get through life like this and get away with it, hey, that's great. But it's very, very unpredictable. There's so many ways you can screw it up." Now, Paul was talking about Cosa Nostra, but think about it. Think about what he's saying. This life of ours is a wonderful life. For many of us, it is. Some of us who have, grown up under tough situations or hard times, maybe you don't agree with that. But, just to be alive is wonderful in a way. And if we try to do the right things in our life, well, you know what? It can be a great life. Even if we came out of a bad situation, and so many people have, and have been able to transform their life and straighten out their life by doing things, the proper way, by surrounding themselves with the right people. Remember, you are who you hang with, by having a commitment to do the right thing. If you do that, this can be a great life. Aside from all the heartache that comes with it, because we live in the real world, there's sin in the world. As a believer in Christ, I believe that. And so we're always going to have obstacles that we have to overcome. So life is very unpredictable. It really is. But it is what it is, and we have to make the best of it. And he says here, there's so many ways you can screw it up. Well, Cosa Nostra, over the past 50 years, has found every which way to screw up that life. By talking too much, by being caught on surveillance tapes, by, having so many informants, turn on people. We really screwed it up, and I don't care what anybody says. It will never be what it was through the golden years of that life. And I always look at the golden years of Cosa Nostra in this country were from the 50s right through the mid-80s, when the racketeering laws came into play and things really started to crumble. So there's so many ways that you can screw it up. And in our life, by making wrong decisions, there's so many ways that you can suffer severe consequences and screw it up. And I've said this in the past. I've spoken to so many men and some women who have said to me, "Michael, I've made so many mistakes. And now I'm in my 50s and 60s, and I look back and I say, what did I do with my life?" A message I give to young people, I tell them all the time, life is tough enough when everything is good. You're doing the right thing, and all of a sudden, a sickness can happen, your unemployment can happen, anything can happen in life. God forbid, an accident, who knows? So you have to navigate through that. And if you're doing the wrong thing and you're putting so much extra baggage on your back, on your shoulders that you have to carry around, well, this life can be really tough. So my advice, and Paul Castellano's advice here, I think is really good. This could be a good life if we do the right thing, straighten ourselves out, even if we came out of a bad situation. And really, there's only one way to go in life. It's not Cosa Nostra, it's not Mafia, it's not street gangs, it's not criminal activity. It's doing the right thing, because if you do the right thing, most of the time, things are going to work out. So that's that. So Paul Castellano, thank you for that. Another one, Carlo Gambino. Wise old man, boss of the Gambino family. You all know who he is. We don't have to go into the background. He said this: "Judges, lawyers, and politicians have a license to steal. We don't need one." Now, judges, lawyers, and politicians have a license to steal. I can tell you this, people. I spoke last, I think last time we spoke, or I brought up a video, I talked about Roy Cohn, who worked with Donald Trump, who was Donald Trump's attorney. He was the fixer. He fixed things. He got paid for it, and he fixed things for people. Got people out of jams. Probably did that for Trump, tried to do it with me, but with me it would have been a scam. He was trying to take money from me to fix a case that I had that I knew he couldn't do. But judges, lawyers, and politicians, they do have a license to steal. They get away with so much. Do you know that our politicians get away with insider trading at the stock market? Things that if we did, we would go to jail for. Why do you think so many of these politicians go in, broke, or go in just, having a normal income, and they come out rich? In my new book, Mafia Democracy, I'm going to name some of the politicians in Congress that have gone in, normal income, blue-collar people, and come out wealthy. Is that supposed to happen? Do we put people in office to become multimillionaires? I don't think so. Remember, they're public servants. But judges, lawyers, politicians, if you knew what goes on in the back door of these people, believe me, they have a license to steal. Now, what Carlo is saying is, we don't need one. Why? Because we were criminals. We're going to steal anyway. And you're going to come after us, and maybe we'll get caught, maybe we'll get away with it. But, and that's the way it is in real life. If you're not a judge, a lawyer, a politician, if you're not hooked up, if you're not connected, if you don't have people, you know, at your fingertips that you can maneuver and manipulate, okay, you're going to jail if you get caught. So that's a very, very true statement. Carlo Gambino, you know, I'm sure he knew what he was saying when he said it. So, another one, this is by Lucky Luciano. There's no such thing as good money or bad money, there's just money. Now, some people are going to disagree with that. They're going to say, no, if you get money illegally, it's bad money, or God forbid you get it in the wrong way. If you're selling drugs and people die as a result of the product that you're giving, you're letting them put into their veins or snorting up their nose, that's blood money. You know what? Money is money. Money is money. No matter how you get it, it's money. It's the people that are doing it the wrong way or that are obtaining wealth in the wrong way, they're the bad people. Okay, it's not the money. Money is money. It's an innate object. Okay, it's something that you transfer. It's got value. So I think Lucky Luciano, I knew what his point was. Don't tell me that my money is no good. My money is good. Now, if I got it in a bad way, point your finger at me. Don't point the finger at the money. And I think that's true. And if we start labeling good money and bad money, almost all the money is going to be bad in some way. So remember, it's the person making the deal. It's the person making the transaction. It's the person that's acquiring that money, that wealth, that's either good or bad. Remember that. I think that was a very wise saying. Next. This is a good one. This is from Arnold Rothstein. You know who he was, you know, Jewish gangster, very prominent guy, very smart guy, you know, big influence back in the 30s. If a man is dumb, someone is going to get the best of him. So why not you? If you don't, you're as dumb as he is. So what Arnold is saying here, if somebody is dumb, take advantage of him. If you don't, you're as dumb as he is for not taking advantage of him. Now, you know what? That's the mob way. That's Machiavellian in every way, shape, or form. And you know what? In a lot of ways, I think that's what our government is. They try to keep us down. You know, certain people in government, certain political party, they try to keep us down, keep us uninformed, keep us uneducated so that they can pull the strings and control us. Okay, but that's the wrong way to do things. You don't take advantage of people. If somebody is not as smart as you, or if somebody is not as sophisticated as you, you don't take advantage of them. That's the mob way. That's not the right way in life. And believe me, if you do that, it's going to come back to haunt you in some way, shape, or form. You can't take advantage of people all the time and think that it's going to work out in the end. It's not. And as a result, what happened with Cosa Nostra in this country? Took a big fall. And we did take advantage of people, no doubt about it. We did extort people at times. No doubt about it. We used our power, our influence, and sometimes fear tactics, intimidation to take care of people that maybe weren't as smart as some of us were. Wrong way to go. You suffer consequences. I'm telling you in life, the way to go is to do the right thing. But that was from Arnold Rothstein. This is something that I've been asked so many times, and I want to get into it. And this is from Sam Giancana. You know who he was. He was a boss in Chicago. We took care of Kennedy. That was his statement. Now, I've been asked so many times, Michael, did the mob really have anything to do with the JFK killing? When Kennedy was killed, I was probably 11 years old. I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. So obviously, I wasn't a member of the mob. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the know at that point. My father was a prominent figure in that life, of course. But, you know, when Kennedy, I remember where I was when Kennedy. I was in my backyard after I had got home from school, and I was at a table with a couple of friends where my mother came out and told me, hey, you know, John F. Kennedy has been shot. So that was my experience up to that point. However, later on, obviously, when I became a made member of that life, I had a lot of conversation about the JFK killing, no doubt about it. And I can tell you this, put this together. Jack Ruby, you know, he was a Dallas nightclub owner, absolutely had contacts to the mob. When Oswald did the killing, you know, allegedly, and I think he did, Ruby was in the area. He was there, okay? And there's evidence to prove that. I believe that Ruby was stalking Oswald until he had the opportunity to kill him. Now, why do I believe that? Because that's what I was told. I was told that from my father. I was told that from Fat Tony Salerno. That story was corroborated by so many guys that I spoke to in that life, that at that time it was Sam Giancana, Santo Trafficante out of Florida, and Carlos Marcello out of New Orleans. They had gotten together. You know the deal. Joe Kennedy kind of screwed them. We were supposed to have access to the White House after we helped deliver. When I say we, you know, because I'm going in mob terms, after we helped deliver the presidency to John F. Kennedy. They backed out, they screwed us. Robert Kennedy did just the opposite. When he became Attorney General, he went after the mob. Robert Kennedy, I believe, is responsible for putting my father away in prison. And I've told that story before, no need to get into it. But they totally screwed the mob. The mob was supposed to have access to the White House. Instead, we got screwed, and as a result, Kennedy was on the hit list. Now, I don't think it'll ever come out. I don't think in those confidential papers that'll ever come out, classified documents, because the United States government doesn't want to reveal ever that the mob was able to get to a sitting president. They don't want to reveal that. That would be extremely damaging. But I am telling you, based upon everything that I've learned in that life and everything that I've heard from people in the know, my father was around at that time, Fat Tony was around at that time, and a lot of other people that I heard it from, okay, were around, and they knew what the score was back in the 60s. So I think you can take it to the bank that the Kennedy assassination was pulled off by the Mafia. Okay, so maybe we can put that to rest. Of course, you know, I'm going to get, Michael, you don't know. This is what I know. Okay, do I know it for a fact? I know what I heard for a fact, and I don't know what it's told for a fact by very reliable sources that were there throughout this whole situation with Kennedy. That's that. Let's move on. This is, and this is the last one. This is from Otto Berman. Now, if you don't know who he was an accountant for the mob. I think he worked for Dutch Schultz. Eventually, he was killed by Lucky Luciano. He was assassinated, him and 3 or 4 other guys. But this statement is very telling because we've heard this 1,000 times, and he was the one responsible for making this statement, and that is, nothing personal, it's just business. How many times have you heard that? When there's a killing in Cosa Nostra, when somebody goes, oh, it's not personal, it's just business. Well, let me ask you this. How do you kill somebody and not make it personal? Killing somebody is very personal. Because remember, you're killing that person, but that person has a life, has relationships, has a family. It always becomes personal. I don't care if you're a contract killer or not. It's a very personal thing, okay, to kill somebody. It's a very personal thing to do things on the street. Okay, you can say it's business, it's part of your business, but it's not only that. It's very personal. And Cosa Nostra life is very personal. I don't agree with that. Nothing personal, it's just business. Not in terms of damaging somebody so severely, taking somebody's life. I don't think Otto Berman would have made that statement had he known he was going to get killed. You know, because it is very personal. And when somebody gets, you know, somebody gets off in that life, it's personal, trust me. I've heard enough about it, and I've been around long enough, the 20 years that I spent in that life, to know that it is personal. So let's wrap this all up. You know, look, Cosa Nostra Mafia is an alternative lifestyle in this country. It's a criminal lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that certain things that happened in that life can't apply to life today. And, you know, some of the things I said today, hopefully you'll understand that. You know, I don't like to just tell these stories just to tell the stories. You know, my deal in life for the past 25 years, I've been traveling around the world trying to encourage people, trying to use myself as an example that I came out of a bad situation, and by the grace of God, and because I've surrounded myself with the right people that cared about me, I've been able to transform my life. I'm not perfect. I'm still a sinner. Okay, I'm not perfect in every which way, but I try to be an encouragement to others, because if I could turn my life around, come out of a pretty drastic situation and turn my life around, then anybody else can too. And I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. You just got to have the will and the drive to do it. Surround yourself with the right people, and good things will happen. May not happen immediately, but they will happen. So hopefully from some of these things that were said today, you get a little bit of the message. And that's about it. So again, coming up Monday, Shawshank Redemption. Tune in for that. A lot of other good things coming up, like I said earlier. Let's wrap it up. How do I leave you? Same way all the time. Be safe, be healthy, God bless, and I will see you next time.